Welcome to the Autauga Football Review with Coach Bobby Carr. Coach, we had Springwood this past week. First region win, first region game. Just talk about just how the game went.
It went well. Thought we executed on offense really well. Had a couple special teams touchdowns. Thought defense played sound. I thought Tate did a really good job of spreading the ball out to our receivers, and the good thing is everybody got a chance to play. And that doesn't happen every Friday night. So I think it was a really good night for our guys.
Coach, talk about the opening kickoff. I mean, we returned it for a touchdown. What kind of tone does that set? Just in any game, not just against Springwood, just any team, you return the opening kickoff. What kind of tone does that set just for the remaining just atmosphere of the game?
Well, it sets a big tone, gets everybody all hyped and fired up early. Coach Tubbs does a really good job with our special teams. It gets overlooked sometimes, but for them to have two kickoff returns says a lot about Coach Tubbs and what he does with our special teams. And a lot of times you don't really notice the special teams or even question who's coaching the special teams unless something bad goes wrong. But he does a great job, and I assure you that's probably not the last kickoff return that we'll have.
Talk a little bit, just a little bit about the offense. You kind of hit on it a little bit. Seems like we're kind of airing it out a little bit this year. Not saying that every game is going to be that way, but the past couple games we've been really throwing it around just a little bit. But what does that do? I know we got a big running back, and Tre Cutler got a Player of the Week this week, and we'll talk about him just a little bit. But just what does that do to open up that running game that we have? Just kind of getting around and letting Tay just spread it around to all the receivers that we have.
Well, the biggest thing, we've got so many weapons that you can't key on one particular player. And, in the challenge coming in, we felt like we're going to have to really do a good job of preaching unselfishness. And that's the one thing I've noticed about our guys is everybody's unselfish. They're pulling for one another. Doesn't matter who gets in the end zone or who gets the touches. We're all pulling from the same end of the rope. And when you do that, that's when you start to experience greatness, and that's the direction we're headed. And I think our offense is just beginning to really take off, and it'll get better and better.
Going on the defensive side of the ball, got a lot of guys playing time this week. A lot of young guys kind of into that game. Yeah. Young guys did kind of give up 2 touchdowns there late in the second half. Just talk about what that does for them and experience-wise, just being able to get them in games and just get that experience.
Yeah, we made a few adjustments defensively, moved some guys around, and but I thought we had a really good plan going in. Felt really good about it going in before the ball game, and our starters did a really good job of doing what they needed to do to get our backups in. And glad everybody got a chance to play, like I said earlier. Backup guys gave up a couple of touchdowns, and we got to do a better job. But again, you get better with experience, and they'll continue to get better, I'm sure.
Let's go to our Offensive Player of the Week this week, Coach. Tre Cutler had 2 rushing TDs, over 100 yards rushing. Again, I know we're spreading it around, but he's 265 pounds, 260 pounds, and just throwing it up in there, gets 2 TDs. Just talk about Tre and kind of what he brings to the table for this offense.
Yeah, I'd like to see him at 265. I don't know if he's quite there yet, but he's a good player. You don't see a player with his size and his athleticism on hardly ever in high school. I mean, a lot of people compared him to Jerome Bettis and how he played with the Steelers, but he's a talent, and he can do a lot of things, and we're going to count on him to really carry the load for us down the stretch. But Tre's continue to work hard, and somebody's going to get a really good player, and I can't wait to see him play on Saturdays in the future after this season.
Good deal. When we come back, we'll talk to Tre Cutler, Offensive Player of the Week. Welcome to the Autauga Football Review, Offensive Player of the Week. This is Tre Cutler. How you doing, Tre?
Good. How you doing?
Tre, we had a big win this past week against Springwood, region game, 69-15. You had 2 rushing touchdowns, about over 100 yards rushing. Just talk about how the game went, how the offense did.
I feel like the offense executed the way that we practiced, and everything carried over into the game. Thanks to the O-line for blocking for the quarterback, blocking for the running back, picking up their assignments.
Good deal. Coming with the offensive line, since you brought them up, we got a new group this year from last year. I know last year you ran behind some big guys. This year we got a little bit of a new group going on. How are they coming along?
They coming along good. Like from the summer, we had a little bit of mistakes. Now everybody executing, picking up their blocks. Everybody's like disciplined now on the O-line. I'm proud of them boys. Going to being a running back, everybody thinks being a running back, you just run the football, which is true.
Okay, but we throw the ball a good bit. We kind of open it up. We got a lot of good skill guys on the outside with y'all as running backs, especially yourself with the 2 touchdowns this past week. But what's the importance of pass protection for a running back?
Keeping my quarterback off the ground. Say if one of the O-line missed the block, it's my responsibility to pick him up, have my teammates back.
Good deal. One more thing, we'll let you go. We play TA this week, homecoming. What do you think our biggest challenges as an offense going to be going to face them, knowing that they played some really tight games, are very athletic? Just talk about what you think our challenges are going to be going against them, especially with the distractions of being homecoming this week.
Execute, score every time, defense, stay in their place and do their assignments.
Good deal. That's Tre Cutler, Offensive Player of the Week. Welcome back. That was Tre Cutler, Offensive Player of the Week. Coach, let's go to the defensive side of the ball. Tyson Tubbs. We kind of moved him from being a bigger role in offense to kind of help us out on defense this past week, and he kind of showed up, had numerous tackles, a sack on the quarterback. Just talk about Tyson and what he brings to our defense.
I think, number one, Tyson's a great team player. I think he could play just about every position on both sides of the ball except for maybe O-line and D-line. We could put him in the box on defense. We could put him in the secondary. On offense, he's played quarterback. He can play running back, receiver, plug back. So he's a very versatile player, and you don't see that every day in high school where a guy can play multiple positions and help your team no matter where you put him. But it just speaks highly about his athleticism, and he did a great job. Brought the tone for us there on the defensive side of the ball, and again, there's no telling where you may see him play, but he's just a great team player, and I'm glad he's having some good success this senior year.
Good deal. When we come back, we'll talk to Tyson Tubbs, Defensive Player of the Week. Welcome to the Autauga Football Review Defensive Player of the Week. This is Tyson Tubbs. How you doing, Tyson? Tyson, you got chosen as the Defensive Player of the Week this week against Springwood. Big win, 69-15. Just talk about how the defensive group just played as a whole this week.
I thought we played pretty good. First team didn't give up any touchdowns, so that's what we need to keep up in the future.
Coming from our last game against Vernon, instead we had a lot of mental mistakes, some penalties. Do you think we kind of corrected those in the off week leading up to the game against Springwood?
Yes, sir. We had a lot of good work during the off week and practiced a lot on tackling and game tackling. So.
How difficult is it being a two-way player? I know the first 2 games you played a lot on offense, and now this past week you ended up playing a good bit on defense, also playing some offense. So how hard is it being a two-way player?
It's not that hard. It's fun being able to play on both sides of the ball and help the team win on both sides.
Good deal. Last thing, and I'll let you go. We got Tuscaloosa coming up this week for homecoming. You've seen them on film. We've watched them a little bit. What do you think about them coming up to this game?
They're real big up front, pretty big linebackers, but I think if we do our job, we should be able to win.
Good deal. This has been Tyson Tubbs, Defensive Player of the Week. Welcome back. That was Tyson Tubbs, Defensive Player of the Week. Coach, let's go into Tuscaloosa. Homecoming. They bring a big challenge to us. New coach, new offense. Just talk about first, I think we talked about this last year, but just the distractions of homecoming, knowing this is our 50th anniversary of the school, a lot of distractions. Just kind of talk about that just for a second.
Yeah, that's always every coach's fear, playing homecoming game, all the distractions and stuff going on all week. And you like to play an opponent that maybe you might have, I feel like you may have an upper hand on going in, but Tuscaloosa is very talented, very athletic. They match up with us. That's what scares me, is their athleticism matches up with our athleticism. Got a really good head coach, well-known head coach, former Alabama defensive tackle John Copeland, doing a good job with them. And I look for them to, make a run for it in 3A this year. So again, we've got our hands full Friday night, and we're going to have to be sound in all 3 phases of the game. Offense, defense, special teams.
Couple key players, Coach. The quarterback, really explosive. Running back, really explosive. Got a big receiver, big defensive line, really athletic. Just talk about what we think that what's going to take to really get the game in our favor, and what we have to do to make sure that happens.
Yeah, quarterback reminds us of a lot of our former quarterback Tripp, my son. He runs really well, can make plays with his feet, extend the plays and things like that. So that's scary. We're going to have to play assignment football and try to keep him hemmed up. running back can he can take it to the house if we're not where we need to be on defense. So again, they've got a lot of weapons, a couple good receivers. So again, like I said, it's not your everyday homecoming opponent, so we're going to have to show up ready to go.
Good deal. Just some other notes we have. Again, like I said, it's the 50th anniversary of the school. Have a lot of good activities going on before the game, so please come out and support us on that. Also, our quarterback club, we need some better support from our dads and to come out and just kind of help this program just keep going. So that next quarterback club meeting will be next Tuesday at 6 p.m. here in the field house. Coach, let's go get that homecoming win.
Sounds good.
Go Generals.